Good morning, students. Today, as previous class, we discussed about operators. Today class, we discuss in control statements in Java. So, what is control statement? The control statements specify the flow of execution of the program. Here we have the different types of control statements. One is the selection. So one is the selection control statements. Second one is the jump control statements, and the third one is the loop control statements. So the control statements specify the flow of execution of the program. Here we have the three types of control statements. One is the selection or decision making control statements. Second one is the loop statement. Third one is the jump statement. In the first one, what are the statements we have? In the first one, the if statement, if else statement, if else if statement, switch statement. These four are under selection statements. Selection statements. Next one, the for loop, while loop, do while loop are under loop statements. Next one, break statement and the continue statement are under the jump statements. So these are the three types of the control statements. One is the selection control statements, second one is the loop statements, and third one is the jump statements. Now first we can see about the selection statements. The selection statements are if statement, if else statement, if else if ladder statement, and the switch statement. The first one we can see the if statement. So what is the purpose of the if statement? The if statement tests the condition. If the condition is true, it will execute if block. It will execute the if block. So the if statement purpose is it will check the condition, it will test the condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the if block. If the condition is false, do nothing. So the syntax of the if statement is if condition, the code to be executed. Here, if the condition is true, then the compiler execute the code to be executed. If the condition is false, the control move to the next statement. Now we can see one example. So here the class is if ex class. We can write main method, public static void main. Consider a variable age, int age equal to 20. If age greater than 18, already we assign age value is 20. 20 greater than 18. Here the condition is what? Either true or false. But here 20 greater than 18. That means the condition is true. If the condition is true, execute the if statements. Here what is the if statement? System.out.println age is greater than 18. So we got the output age is greater than 18. Suppose if we declare age equal to 25 based on the age value, here age greater than 18. So the condition is the false. If the condition is false, it will not execute the if statements. The control moves to the out of the if statement. So this is the small example for the if. So if statement purpose is if the condition is true, execute the if block. If the condition is false, it will not execute. Next one, if else statement. The purpose of the if else statement is if the condition is true, it will execute the if block. If the condition is failed, it will execute the else part. So same way as the if statement, the if else statement also tests the condition. So if the condition is true, it will execute the if block. If the condition is false, that means otherwise, it will execute the else block. So the syntax for the if else statement is the syntax. First we can check the condition, if condition. Here if block, if the condition is true, then we will execute if block. If the condition is false, that means it will execute the else part. So this is the syntax for the if else statement. Now we can see one example for the if else statement. The example for the if else statement is, consider a class if else ex and the method, main method, public static void main. Here we can assign a variable number equal to 13. In the if statement we can check number modulus 2 equal to 0. It will return the remainder 13 modulus 2. 13 modulus 2 equal to, we got 1. So that means here the if condition is false. Here the if condition is false. So if the if condition is false, we can execute the else part. Here the else part is system.out.println odd number. So we will get the output is the odd number. So for example, another example, take number value as 24. So consider number equal to 24. If number modulus 2, number is the 24 modulus 2 equal to 0, we got remainder 0. So in this case the if condition is true. Whenever if condition is true, it will execute the if block. The if block statement is system.out.println even number. So for the number value 24, we got the output even number. So in this way we can check the conditions. So if the condition is true, it will execute the if block. If the condition is false, else part was executed. So this is the if else statement. Now we can see the next statement, if else if ladder statement. So the main purpose of this if else if ladder statement is, it will execute one block of code among multiple other blocks. So we have the number of blocks. In that blocks we can execute only one block of code. So that means here first we can see the syntax. First if condition is true, it will execute the if block. If the condition is false, it will check the else if condition. If the else if condition is true, here it will execute this block. If the else if condition 2 is false, now control goes to the else if condition 3. If the else if condition 3 is true, it will execute this if block. If the else if condition 3 is false, it will execute the next else if block. Suppose if all the if statements are false, then it will execute the last block, so else block. So here in the if else if ladder, first check the if condition. If the condition 1 true, it will execute the condition 1 corresponding code. If the condition 1 is the false, now we will check the else if condition 2. If the else if condition is true, then it will execute the code corresponding to the condition true. So in this way we can check. So in Java, the main purpose of the else if ladder is, we can execute a block of code from multiple blocks. If all the conditions are false, then final else statement was executed. So now we can see one example for this if else if statement. Here we can find out the grade based on our marks. So here the class name is if else if x main method. Here we can take the marks equal to 65. Based on the marks, we got the percentage, or we can got the grade. So first we can check the first condition 1. If marks less than 50, here marks equal to 65, less than 50, condition is true or false? So 65 less than 50 means condition is false. So whenever the condition is false, next we can check the else if block. Else if block. Here marks 65. Next one, marks 65 less than 60. So here first one, marks greater than or equal to 50. So this is the true. Next, marks less than 60. Here false. Now we are applying the AND operator. So whenever true false, so for that the output is the false. So else if condition also got the result false. So now we can move to the next else if block. Here marks 65 less than or equal to 60, true. AND operator. Next, marks less than 70, 65 less than 70. So this is also the true. So true AND operator, true. The output is the true. So here for this condition the output is true. Now we can execute this if block. System.out.println, the output is C grade. So we got the output C grade. So in this way we can check one by one condition. If all the conditions are failed, finally we can execute the last one. Now we can see another example. Suppose marks equal to 20. Marks equal to 20. So for the marks equal to 20, first condition failed. Second condition is also failed. Third condition is also failed. Next condition is also failed. All these conditions are failed. So when all the conditions are failed, then we can execute the last else part. So the output is for this invalid. So this is the output for the program for this example. So based on the marks, we got either A plus grade, A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade and fail. Or for example, marks equal to 20. So marks equal to 20, then we got fail. Next we can see the switch statement. So the switch statement is same as the if else if ladder statement. For example, it will execute a block of code among many alternatives, just like same as the if else if ladder statement. For example, consider the syntax for the switch statement. Here the switch statement is switch expression. Now the expression was evaluated. The expression value is checked with the case value 1, case value 2 and so on. If all the cases are failed, it will execute the default value. So this is the syntax for the switch statement. So first, the expression is evaluated. If the expression is equal to of value 1, it will execute the case value 1. If the expression is equal to the value 2, it will execute the case value 2. Otherwise, it will execute all the last statement is the default statement. Now we can see one example for the switch statement. So consider example for this switch. Switch EX is the class name. Next to public static void main. Here int number equal to 20. Number equal to 20. First we can evaluate switch number. Here what is the number value? 20. Now the 20 check with each case values. So first 20 check with case 10. So not equal. Now the 20 we can check for the next case. 20 equal to 20. So now that one's expression is number is matched to the case 20. Now we got the output system.out.println 20. So here we got the output 20. Suppose you are given number equal to 40. Number equal to 40. So switch number 40. It will check all the cases. 40 not equal to 10. 40 not equal to 20. Next 40 not equal to 30. So all these cases are failed. So now we can execute the default statement. So default statement is system.out.println not in 10, 20 or 30. So this is the switch statement. So the switch statement and the if else if statement works same purpose. So now we can, these are the selection statements. Now we can see the next second type is the jump statements or loop statements. Now we can see about the loop statements. So in Java we have the three types of loop statements. One is the for loop, second one is the while loop, and third one is the do while loop. So when will we use the for loop, while loop, do while loop? If the number of iterations, so if the number of iterations are fixed, in that case we can use the for loop. If the number of iterations not fixed, in that case we can use either the while loop and do while loop. So now we can see the for loop. So the for loop purpose is to iterate the part of the program, several times. So to repeatedly execute some statements, we can use the for loop. So when we use the for loop, if the number of iterations is fixed, in that case we can use the for loop. So the syntax of the for loop is, so for first one initialization, next condition, next either increment or decrement. So here the code to be executed is the syntax for the for loop. Now we can see one example for the for loop. So example, the first class name is for ex. Here main method is public static void main. So already we know the syntax of the for loop. The first one is the initialization. Here we can initialize int I equal to 1. So this is the initialization. Next condition. Condition is I less than or equal to 5. That means we can execute the statements within the loop until I less than or equal to 5. Next increment or decrement. Already we know we have the two types of increments, post increment and pre increment. This is the post increment, that is I plus plus. This will be written as I equal to I plus 1. So here we know the how many times we want to iterate the program. So how many times? So until 5 times. So first we can see I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5. I less than or equal to 5 means 1 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. Next I value is incremented by 1. So since the condition is true, it will execute the loop statement system.out.println I. So we got the output 1. Next I value is the 2. I value is the 2. Again 2 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true and I plus plus value is I value is the 3. So in that case the output is 2. Next I equal to 3. We got the output 3. Next I equal to 4. Condition is true. We got the output 4. Next I equal to 5. We got the condition is true. So I equal to 5. Next I value is the 6. So 6 less than or equal to 5 means the condition is false. So since the condition is false, we cannot execute the loop statements. So this is the simple example for the for loop. So the for loop is used whenever we know the fixed number of iterations. Next loop we can see about while loop. So the while loop is also used to to iterate a part of the program several times. So when we use the while loop, so if the number of iterations are not fixed, so in that case we can use the while loop. So the syntax for the while loop is while condition. If the condition is true, we can execute the code. If the condition is false, we can control is out of the while loop. So now we can see the while loop example. So the example for the while loop is, first we can initialize I equal to 1. Next, while loop, while I less than or equal to 5. I less than or equal to 5 means condition I equal to 1. 1 less than or equal to 5 means the condition is true. So whenever the condition is true, we can execute the statements within the while loop. So the output for the system.out.println is I means 1. Here I value is incremented by 1. So I value is 2. Now again we can check the condition. I value 2 less than or equal to 5. Again the condition is true. So when the condition is true, we can execute the while loop statements. We got the output true. Again I value is incremented by 1. I equal to 3. Again 3 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. We will get the output 3. I equal to 4. Again the condition is the true. So we got the output 4. Again I value equal to 5. 5 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. We got the output 5. Next, I value 6. 6 less than or equal to 5. Here the condition is failed. Then we cannot execute the statements within the while loop. So in this way we can execute the statements within the while loop. So while loop is used when we don't know number of times we can iterate the statements. Next one, do while loop. So the do while loop is also used to iterate a part of the program several times. So do while loop is also used if the number of iterations is not fixed. But what is the difference between the while loop and do while loop? So do while loop is used when you want to execute the statements at least once. So whenever we need to execute the statements at least once, in that case we can use the do while loop. So the syntax for the do while loop is do code to be executed and while check the condition. So in this case, after execution of the statements, after executing the statements, we can check the condition. So that means at least once we can execute the code. Now we can see one example for the do while loop. So example for the do while loop is, first we can take a variable I equal to 1. Now do. So we cannot check the condition here. First we can execute the statement system.out.println I. So we got the output 1. Next I plus plus. I plus plus means I equal to 2. So now we can check the condition. So after executing the statement at least once, then we can check the condition. So for this program also we got the output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the do while example. So these are the 3 loop statements: for loop statement, while loop statement, the third one is the do while statement. Next we have the jump statements. So here we have the 2 jump statements. One is the break statement, another one is the continue statement. So now we can see one by one, break statement and continue statement. So the break statement terminates the loop immediately. The break statement terminates the loop immediately. So the control out of to the next statement following the loop. So the break statement is used to terminate the loop. So to terminate the loop we can use the break statements. The syntax for the break statement is simple one, break. So now we can see one example how we can use the break statement. So consider a class name break ex and the main method. Here we can take the for loop for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. So in the for loop we can use the break statement when if I equal to 5. So if I equal to 5 we can break. That means when I equal to 5 the loop was terminated. So for example, first how the got for this, what is the output for this program? So first int I equal to 1. So I equal to 1, 1 less than or equal to 10. I is the 2. 1 less than or equal to means condition is the true. Now we can check the if I equal to 5. If I equal to 5 is true or false? So false. So false means we cannot execute the break statement. Now we can execute, we can print the system.out.println I. I value is the 1. Next I value is the 2. 2 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. I equal to 3. Here you can check the if condition. 2 equal to 5. Again the condition is the false. We cannot execute the break statement. So the output for this one is the 2. Next 3. Next 4. Next I equal to 5. 5 less than equal to 10. So 5 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. We can check the if 5 equal to 5. 5 equal to 5 means condition is true. Then we can execute the break statement. So the break statement terminate the loop. So the break statement terminate the for loop. So the control moves out of the for loop. So this way we can execute the break statement. So the break statements are used to terminate the loop immediately. Suppose in this case, in this example, if you take I equal to 4, then break. So in this case the output is we got 1, 2, 3. When I equal to 4, we execute the break statement, the control out of the for loop. So this is the break statement example. Next statement is the continue statement. So the continue statement skip the current iteration of the loop. The continue statement skip the current iteration of the loop. The syntax for the continue statement is the continue. So break statement is used to terminate the loop. The continue statement skip the current iteration of the loop. So we can see one example for the continue statement. So here the class name is continue ex and the main public static void main. Here for loop we can take the for loop I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 7, I plus plus. If I equal to 5, continue. So the continue purpose is it will skip the current iteration. So whenever I value equal to 5, it will skip the current iteration. So here we can see we go out, what is the output for this one? First I equal to 1, condition is true. Here false. We cannot execute the continue statement. The output is 1. Again I value is incremented by 1. In the for loop the condition is true. The if loop condition is false. So we cannot execute the continue statement. The output is the 2. Again I value equal to 3. So continue statement was not executed. Then the output is 3. Again we got the output 4. Suppose 5 less than or equal to 7. I equal to 5. That means 5 equal to 5. So 5 equal to 5 means condition is the true. That means we can execute the continue statement. So whenever we execute the continue statement, it will skip the current iteration. So that means it will not execute the system.out.println I. So we did not get the output 5. So 5 not printed. Next again I value equal to 6. So 6 less than or equal to 7, condition true. If condition is false, so continue statement was not executed. Again we got the output 6. Again I value equal to 7. If condition is false, we can execute the continue statement. The output is the, we cannot execute the continue statement. The output is the 7. Next again I value is the 8. I value 8 means for condition is failed. So we cannot execute the statements within the for loop. So for this program the output is 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 value is skipped and we got the output 6 and 7. So these are the two jump statements So one is the break statement, second one is the continue statement. So the break statement purpose is to skip the break statement purpose is to terminate the loop immediately. The continue statement purpose is to skip the current iteration. So these are the Java control statements. So in Java we have totally 3 control statements: selection control statements, next one is the loop control statements, and the third one is the jump control statements. So in the selection control statements we have the different types. One is the if condition, second one if else, next one if else, if ladder, next one switch statement. These are the different selection statements. Next, in the loop statements we have the 3 types of loop statements: for loop, while loop, do while loop. So these are the loop statements. The last one is the jump statement. Here we have the 2 jump statements. One is the break and another one is the continue. So these are the different control statements in Java. Already in the previous class we discussed about the operators. Next, in this class we discuss about the data types. So thank you for this session. Next session we discuss about the arrays.